May 19th, 2026. This is my AI live coding session. This is to showcase what I have developed because I am working on self-hosted applications as well as how I use Claude Code in general, because right now that's my go-to. You're looking at right here, this is a dashboard that I've created for my operating system that is in the basement. I have all of my agents on it, primarily Claude Code, but I've also installed Hermes as well. I'm playing around with that. Only thing I'm really using Hermes for is to integrate with Telegram. I'm trying to understand what the difference is between that and OpenClaw. I'm just hearing more information on Hermes, and I know OpenClaw was blocked by Anthropic, but I am hearing that they may have lifted that restriction. So the idea is, of course, I can SSH into this machine all day long, whether that be from a terminal or a VS Code or even Claude Code directly. But I like nice web interfaces, so I decided to use Claude to create a web UI for it. Currently, I'm calling it Odyssey OS, but that's like a misclaimer. I should actually probably call it Odyssey Agent UI or something. But the idea is I can get high-level information on what's happening or what's running on that underlying machine. Now you'll see this cost is zeros because I'm using my Claude subscription. So there's a difference between Claude subscription, which is that, one-time monthly fee as opposed to API calls. And the way that this is set up, it's able to use my subscription. This is locally, so it's not a commercial product, this pinned section. So these are tasks. So the idea is that there are things that I want to run either on a schedule or maybe as just a general skill or one time. It would be very nice if I had a user interface where I can just click a button and have it run, and I can have my favorite task easily available. And that's what these are. So latest article, I have my Deep Feed AI website. So the idea is that maybe I want to do a summary on that or do like a YouTube description. It'll go to my website, summarize the latest article, then I get the information. YouTube SEO, that's the most common thing, right? You want to generate some type of YouTube title, subscription, business app ideas. And these can run on cron jobs, by the way. So every morning I can say, give me a really cool business idea and maybe something will stick out. AI agent reports. I work in the IT cybersecurity field, so it's very nice to understand what's going on in my industry. So I might want a daily report. Same thing with a CVE report. So I can click these buttons and it's going to run it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just run one right now. This will be the CVE report. It'll take some time, but we can see it is running. And also in the task and routines, we can see that it is running. You can also see when the next run is because again, it's on a cron job. This fleet is just the running task, and I can kill a task if I want to. And then here's the overall view for the task here. You can divide them in rows or lanes. Lanes will be by project, so Deep Feed AI, app ideas, tech news, and then the projects are below here, groupings of tasks. So again, this is my business app idea here. I can see the run history of it, how many tokens it did use. It's going to give you a cost, but a valid callback from Claude that's specifying how much that actually costs. But again, I'm using my subscription, so this actually does not apply. And then you have 0 through 59. I am working on having it, whether it's full access to the machine or a Docker sandboxed environment. What it's going to do is come up with an app idea. Again, maybe I want an AI agent intelligence briefing. So they were talking about AI agents creating their own operating system, which was actually very interesting. They did it in real time. You know how that might be during demos. But they showed an AI agent, it created an operating system, and then it actually got it to be able to play Doom briefing report. NVIDIA stuff, Anthropic acquires Stainless and 300 million plus move to control the agentic tool chain. Just a nice summary of this information that I can get daily or whatever cadence. Ransomware, very important in my industry. So I might want to see the ransomware report. Of course, this isn't going to have everything. It's just going to go out and try to find some trending information. The Shiny Hunter's Canvas information, ransomware attack where they did a cybersecurity attack on colleges across the United States as well as Australia, from my understanding. So it's just going to give you information about that, what sector it does fall underneath, and some CVEs to be watching out for. So it's a nice report to start my day. Let's see. Daily briefing. Then this is more of another cybersecurity daily briefing, and this one is focusing on specific types of vulnerabilities, so Chroma DB. And I wrote it in a way where Obviously, there's going to be things that I've never heard about. So it'll be very good to see like, okay, what is ChromaDB, right? If there's something I don't know about it, the threat in plain English, here's the business impact, threat status, blast radius, yada, yada, yada. Just gives a good breakdown, even if I don't understand that information. And then I have a deep dive report, which is more about a technical report for executives. So it breaks it down even more, including CVEs. So again, some stuff that I can get at the beginning of the day, including some references at the bottom. So just really good stuff right there. All right. Then from there, these are applications that I've been working on. I've been working on these probably the last, aside from Deep Feed AI and Agent OS, I'd probably say I've been working on these within like the last 4 days. All of these applications are AI generated. If I come over here to the Cyber Feed, this is just another news style website. I had it have a parallax scrolling type effects. Cypher feed. Let me exit out of here. And I'm just going to make a directory called test, directory to test. And then from here, I'm going to type in Claude. Now, if you just type in Claude and hit enter, what you have is a few different modes that you have access to. By default, they've added this new auto mode, which detects whether or not Claude needs elevated permissions when you're asking it to do something. If you hit Shift Tab twice, then you can have accept edit mode. So if you're telling it to change a file or something, it's not going to ask you or prompt you as much. I highly recommend, if you're creating an application with Claude and AI tools, to start off with plan mode. Ask it to brainstorm something, some type of plan that you can review. You get more comfortable with the AI tools, what they can and cannot do. Skip permissions. So now what it's going to do, it's going to have the ability to just go do anything that you want. This command requires approval. Do you want to proceed? I can say yes. And I can also say yes, and don't ask again for this specific type of command. In this case, going forward, doing a sudo get any type of subcommand from that or parameters, it's not going to ask. I'm just going to say yes. And it's already installed. So there's no problem with that. But notice it did ask me to do that. If I'm in plan mode, and I say install Vim. Now it does say it's already installed, but it'll write a plan in this case. And then depending on that, what you can do is it'll prompt you, would you like to go ahead and execute the plan that I've provided? You can say yes, you can manually approve it, so on and so forth. This is a way to protect you. Again, especially if you're just getting used to these AI tools. So if you do a / marketplace or plugin, I guess marketplace is going to be deprecated, so it's / plugin, but both will get you there. Hit enter. This is where you can discover plugins. So this, just think about it as just adding a superpower. Think about the Matrix when Neo got the chip in the back of his head. This is basically what you're doing for Claude. You're giving it additional tooling. I've installed things for like web scraping and web crawling. I'm assuming all of this is from the official plugin store. So I look for the Claude plugins official. I'd probably be cautious if I saw something that didn't come from the official plugin store. Because remember, at the end of the day, a lot of these things are just prompts, but they also might provide ability to download things automatically as well. So just be very careful. So front end design, this is a skill. You can see how many people have installed that. But yeah, hey, thanks, Tech Set Guru. The genie is out of the bottle. Different channels such as Discord or Telegram or Slack are these things where, for example, I can tell the agent actually, let's see if we can do that real time. So if I wanted, let's just do Cloudflare. And again, this is my machine, so I'm completely fine with installing this stuff. Let's hit enter. And then it's going to prompt you, do you want to install just for you? And mostly it's just going to be for me because it's on my machine and my agent has access to the underlying user account. So let's say install for you. I am playing around with multi-agent orchestration. I'm trying to understand a little bit better of when it makes sense. It's just a team of me as one. So most of the things what I can do is it's really mostly specialized prompts that's happening. It's not true multi-agent orchestration. So I might have a prompt, for example, for my deep feed AI site, I'll have a prompt or a skill that searches RSS feeds and parses them every day. And then I have specialized prompts for my writer agents that each have their different personalities and different niches or categories. So I have one that focuses on cybersecurity, one that focuses on healthcare. So they're really mostly prompts and not orchestration. I can see orchestration if I was like a broader team, most likely, but I just haven't found a use case yet that my current individual prompts don't facilitate, because I also pass the context of what a previous prompt did anyway. So maybe that's lightweight orchestration, but I don't think it's true orchestration, to be honest. As those are embracing it now, they're going to win. Exactly. It's still going to be important to understand programming, because these things are going to break your application. They're going to have bugs. There's going to be things that's probably just, oh, I just need a simple CSS change. Do you need to really spend tokens for that? It's still going to be helpful, but if you don't use AI at all and you're fighting against it, you're going to be left behind. Like, junior developer roles were already in the crosshairs well before AI came along. Think about the low coding solutions. Junior developer roles have already been at risk, and now it's even more, because you always have to put your mindset into the CEO and those at the top that want to save money, or in this case, produce applications at a rapid pace just to increase their revenue. Well, why wouldn't you use an AI tool somewhere in there? But yes, as a developer, you should embrace these things, and you shouldn't just do tutorials. You should get your hands on them and try to create an application, something that's meaningful to you, right? Okay, all right, so I installed Cloudflare, and then it said reload plugins. Okay, reload plugins. And then let's see, will it be in, okay, so now it's in skills. So now we can see we have a Cloudflare agent skill in that case. I'm not gonna use it right now, but that's how you can search the marketplace, install it, and then, let me escape. And then we can do a / and now it's now available as a / option where you can interact with Cloudflare. I'm assuming you'll have to set your API key somewhere on your system, whether it be in a .env file or maybe your bash profile. But then you can interact with your Cloudflare account. It even looks like it has MCP server support. Let's see, Kenny, to build different aspects of the website end to end. Take it further, you can use open weight models as worker bees. Yeah. No, that's a good idea. I haven't really played around with open weight models. What I've done is I mainly use Claude Code. That's like my everyday driver for the most part. And then for lightweight things, I've started to use Open Router, the free model and the auto model. With the auto model, I mostly have free, but I have a few paid models. But it's made it where I'm not paying a lot of costs for my for the LLMs. Let's see if I can bring that up. Okay, we're back over here. Let me go to, what I said, Open Router? Yeah, let's go take a look at my Open Router account. Let's take a look at my logs, because I've been playing around with it today. I'm gonna zoom this in a little bit. And yeah, so we can see we have, I'm using Sonnet 4 for some things. I'm working on some local applications, but we can see the cost overall that we're having on some of these LLMs. Let's see, go to routing. And this is where these are the allowed models that I have. If I use the model, it's called Open Router / auto. It's going to use these models in a fallback approach. So I have DeepSeek, GPT, OSS, Ollama. So some of these are going to be paid, some of these are going to be free. This allows me, if I have heavier prompt actions, I can use this auto model, but I can also use the free model, which is just totally free models that it uses. And there is obviously a context limit for that. But I've enjoyed learning how to use Open Router. Alpha are pretty good, both are really free. I'll just take a look at those. It's just like, there's just so many tools, right? I think that's the thing too, is that you can get stuck on tool overload, right? Where you also feel like, I don't know everything. Well, you can't, it's impossible. There's a new AI tool coming up every single day. find something that works for you, get proficient at it, and then maybe try some other things. But it's like there's always going to be something else coming out. You'll just have to figure out what your best workflow is. So using some of that, and I have Ollama on my host system as well. If I come back over here, and we're going to go ahead and exit, and I'll do an Ollama list. So I do have Ollama running on my machine, and the underlying user account has access to this, which means Claude can call Ollama as well, because I have 90 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM on my computer in the basement. So I play around with it every once in a while. Of course, it's going to be slower than those cloud models, but especially if there's things that I don't want to send outside of my machine, I could use Ollama for that. So that's been helpful as well. Okay, let's look at some of, Actually, let's go back to our dashboard. We kind of go back and forth a little bit between what I've been working on and the command line here. So again, this is my agent. Again, I call it Odyssey OS, but it's really just a web UI. So I should probably call it Odyssey Agent UI or something. But this just allows me to interact. So these are my applications that I have. Most of these are Docker applications. I can go over here. I can do some lightweight Docker management as far as stopping, restarting, viewing the logs, and then getting a shell into it. I have Nginx on the machine, which means I have TLS certificates. I use Pi-hole as well, ad blocking. So I can just manage my Docker containers and my images. And then these are the applications. So the idea is, for example, last night, I told my agent to create the Cypher feed website. I gave it the goal. Let's do that here. Let's do Claude. And again, dangerously skip permissions. This is what's going to allow that automation. And I'm going to say goal, and I'm going to give it a quick goal. I'm going to say create a simple to-do list application that supports Kanban style swim lanes. It should have a modern UI and 2 themes. Complete, let's see. And I try to give it a time frame. So I say complete this goal within, I'm not gonna say within, I'm gonna give it a specific time. By, let's say I'm in mountain time, so I'm gonna say 1:55. That gives it about 10 minutes. MST, break down this into tasks and check on them every minute. A summary report once you are complete. Also message me on Telegram using, what is it? Was it Hermes? Yeah, Hermes, once you are done. All right, so that's a goal. So this is me giving it a very specific goal. The more context, the better, of course. But I've just now started to use it, and my workflow is try to tell it, hey, try to complete something by. Also, break what you're doing into tasks and check those tasks every X amount of time. Because it's a short window, I'm saying, hey, check it every minute. And then I've also, because I'm using Hermes, I have that integrated with Telegram. And I'll see if I can end up bringing that up. I might have to add a window. Give me a second. Yes, so give me 1 second. I need to add an additional window for that because I don't have that as a scene in OBS. So let me duplicate a scene real quick. Telegram. And you'll still see my terminal while I update OBS real quick. I just need to do a window capture for Telegram. All right, there we go. Hold on, I need to make this full screen. And then I need to put that behind my overlay to keep the consistency. Okay. All right, sweet. And then let me change my automatic scene switcher. This is what I use in OBS as well. So Telegram, Hermes, and then let's change out of my studio mode. Let me see if that switches over. Sweet. Okay, so that's my Telegram right there. This is a previous message that I had it. So we're gonna hopefully see another one once it's done, but I'm gonna go ahead and close this for now. We can see that it is creating the overall checklist. So it does have it. So it has a guide. That's the idea. Is you want to give these AI agents some type of path. Of course, you can say, hey, just go build this thing, but it doesn't give it any type of structure. So that's what I added to a part of my prompt. Now, one thing you cannot do if it has subtasks, I'm going to see if I can background this. Let's see. Nothing to background. Okay, interesting. So sometimes if you have a long running task, basically you can background it so that you can get access back to your terminal, and Claude will still keep working and you can come back to it. It looks like for whatever reason, this just doesn't fall well within that. So we're gonna let this keep working and I'm gonna come back to it. And we're just gonna look at some other websites that I have created. I'm gonna go back to the Cypher feed. Again, this is just a news site for me. I'm hosting internally. I have a couple of different layouts that I did have it create. And so the idea is it uses the web scraper it finds a primary article and then it finds secondary articles. So I kind of took the idea from my Deepview website, but made it a little bit more structured. So you can see a summary of the article, but you can read the full article. Oh, let's see, we had a message here. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Okay, your Today List Kanban app is ready. It's available on this local host, which is nice, but I have Nginx, so it actually needs to make this available and have a TLS certificate. So let me go ahead and update the task here. Let's see, agents. Oh, I did not make it a global agent. Update the engine. Update. Oh, you should have a global actually. Hold on one second. First off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a rename. What I like to do is I like to have the session so the name makes sense. So I'll quickly say rename, Kanban board app. I'm gonna do an exit really quick. And I'm gonna go back to my global.claude file. And let's see. Yeah, it must have, hold on, LSLA. I thought I had created a global Nginx agent. I don't think I did that. So that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to agent, engine apps, or actually infrastructure, Nginx, Claude, just let me skip permissions. There is a new application in my agent apps directory. That is a Kanban app. Update the Nginx config and Docker container so it has a TLS cert on the LAN. Yeah, I was working on making this a skill last night, but long story short, because everything's working on my local network, I'm trying to make sure all these self-hosted apps do have a TLS certificate. I hate the little not secure situation, so we're just gonna see if this does this really quick. It didn't help that I didn't rename and I don't have a Claude MD file. All right, 1 second. Exit. Move. Just. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing the /init. That's going to create your claude.md file. So it's going to walk through the application and it's just going to make sure, it basically just helps with the memory to understand what is the purpose of the application, what does it do. So I'm having it create that, and then I'm going to go back and create that TLS certificate. As you see now, it says I do have a picture of the code base. It's a single file static web app with no build system. All right, so that is created. And I don't have to exit. I'm just kind of just doing this because I have certain memory, certain places. And let's see, PWD, create a TLS cert for the following app, and update the Nginx config and Docker container. So now specifically giving it information. And I'm not sure why my chat isn't showing up in that overlay. All right, it has everything it needs to create that. And while it's doing that, let me go figure out what's going on. Oh, it must be, okay. I need to copy this. Pop out chats. Ah, there it is. Because it's for a stream specifically. There we go. I guess it's for the stream specifically, so I had to have a different chat situation there. Okay, so it is now restarting Nginx. All right, did it give it a name? It said kanbanboard.lan is what it provided. Let's see. And sure enough, and so we have a valid TLS certificate for this. Here's our application. And what I can also do, if I go back to my Agent OS for my apps, if I do rescan Nginx, it did not show up. This might be an issue. Sometimes it thinks that there's a local Nginx and not a Docker. So it's supposed to show up automatically. Not sure why it did. So, hey, real-time bugs. It is what it is. But yeah, so here's our Kanban board. Can we drag things over? We can drag things over. And I didn't tell it anything about the graphics. So long story short, this is a good way to get started, especially if you're going to try to have it to work autonomously and use that goal situation. Again, I like to give it a time and give it and tell it to break down its task that it's going to do. And I did tell it, I think I told it to give it a theme, I believe. Let's go back. And that's a great thing. You can always go back. So we're gonna exit out of here and I'm gonna go back to my application, Kanban. And then what you do is, I did that Claude dangerously skip permissions, but then you can say resume. And so this is what's going to allow you to have your session. And I guess because I changed my session, but that's completely fine. So we'll do int and do I have, yeah, I think it's because I changed the folder name. So that was my bad. So normally what you're able to do is, you can see we can go back to this session here, but I was trying to find the command that I told it specifically, but I think you get the idea. Again, with that goal, you can tell it, give it a specific goal and it's gonna try to formulate that. So not bad for an application built on the fly. Let's see, even did a modal window. So this actually looks pretty good. We have the different swim lanes, the different priorities. So very simple task board that can be created. And then you can create a new task right there. So. All right, let's go back to our Agent OS. Let's take a look at some of our other applications. Let's go to game controllers. So I created this the other day. This supports parallax scrolling, which means like the app responds a bit to your mouse movements. So the idea is that I wanted to work on a site that was about the history of video game controllers. I thought that was going to be pretty cool. 1 second, let me move this over here. There we go. So yeah, so we just start off, and in no particular, this isn't going to have every video game controller. I just wanted to see, could I create this type of website or architecture, this type of website, and completely possible. So we come over here, and this is kind of what it looks like. You get the controller in the center, and you get some points on the controller that it just gives you information on, kind of like a 3D museum type situation. And then if you scroll down, you're just gonna get some information on the controller. This is just vanilla HTML or plain HTML. And then you can go to the next item in the list. And then we go to the Nintendo controller, 1985. Yeah, and so I could easily add on to this, even more onto this, which is actually pretty cool. But I just wanted to see, could I create this type of website? And I think this is a really good, clean design. It's a minimal design as well. And I'm noticing that that's what you really want to do with your sites, especially if you're creating something from scratch. Start small. Do not give it everything under the sun. Start very small. And if you can give it examples, that's great as well, because Claude can recognize screenshots, so you can do that. I didn't do any screenshots for this at all. I just gave it a prompt, essentially, that was very generic and basic, and I had it help me plan it out more. So I didn't just give it one prompt. I said and say, go create this. I did the whole planning phase of it, and then I provided feedback, and this was the output that I got from it. It does support that light and dark mode. And I might want this background to be like, maybe this is yellow colors for the year. It's a little hard to see, but I also don't want it to stand out too much. And so I could add another controller tomorrow if I wanted to, because this image was actually created using Higgs field, because I did have that integration as well. If I go to Higgs field AI, Yeah, this just has a bunch of different integrations. It can create videos as well. I haven't played around with the video content yet. Give me 1 second. I need to log in. I thought I was already logged in. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring that back. Yeah, so if I go to my assets, and I will say I did notice, like, trying to generate this from the command line, it did use a lot of my credits. It like ate it up, even though I don't have a ton of images, so I need to understand that a little bit more. But what I consider this is being my AI investment. I'm learning, like, what are the costs of these things? Because I lost a lot of money, or used a lot of money on Claude API tokens when I first used that. So I've learned a lot, but all these different AI tools, and I'm not sure if there's an error rate maybe that happened. It's generating things that I didn't see, but these are different things that I've had it generate, and these were the controller images. If I come back to my site, so that's the game controllers, and I can add more onto that. I am a gamer, so I do like the history of gaming, and that's why I also think it's important as you're trying to learn these AI tools and be the new age of developers. Create something that's personal to you. It's going to make it a lot more interesting. It's going to be a funner project. I might create something for Metal Gear Solid because I love that video game franchise. I did not beat the Phantom Pain though. I didn't know how to feel after Kojima was fired, and where he I didn't know how to feel. And the game structure was a little weird too with the chapters as well. So it kind of broke my flow. So it's the one Metal Gear Solid game. One Metal Gear console game that I've not played. I've also not played Peace Walker, which was on the PSP. But I digress. Let's go to, and I have my Pi hole as well. Oh, might help if I admin. So I just have this set up on the machine as well. So it's an Nginx server. It's a Pi-hole server as well. So I can do the ad blocking and all this from my machine. And because this is on the machine with the agent has access to these toolings if I need it to. All right. Tech tips. Honestly, I kind of forgot what this was. So this one, it's a 3D design situation, and this graphic responds to your mouse movement and positioning. And then what we have under here is just very simple technical tips, just like, it says. So if I click on, let me go back up. So basically what we have is, pick your corner of tech, which is just a category, right? Or some type of grouping. So we have phone and storage, cybersecurity and privacy, Wi-Fi and internet, shortcuts and productivity, AI prompt engineering, right? So you decide on what do you want to start with. Let's go with Wi-Fi, right? Then it's going to take you down here, and these are just going to be quick tips. If I click on this, and I'll zoom in a bit here, this is exactly what it is. Very quick. It's not specific to any type of router or anything, but it's just going to break that down. And the best part is this is all markdown files. So what's happening is on my server, I have Obsidian set up on a Samba server. Well, actually, I have markdown files in the folder. Actually, this will make more sense. Let me just go there. I don't know why I'm so let's go back. Let's go to, what did I call it? It's not Polaris, Deadline, Cipher Feed, Chest, 3D website. I think it's 3D website. Yes. So if I go to the content directory, let's do I have tree installed? Sudo apt install tree. Tree just gives you a vertical list of your files. I love the tree command. So again, we'll do tree. These are all markdown files. So what's happened is I have mounted this content directory. I've created a Samba share on my Linux machine. I have a folder now for this specific project that hosts these markdown files. And then in Obsidian, I just point to this vault, and then I can update all of these files. If I do I'm gonna do a cat tips, and which one were we looking at? Faster Wi-Fi. It's just a markdown file. That's all that it is. That gets parsed appropriately. So I have the text of this, the category of it, and all of these bullet points, that becomes a numbering system, 1 through 5 or 1 through 4 that it had. Excuse me. But I can modify this and manage it with Obsidian. Of course, I can modify the file here as well, but that's something I've learned as far as like starting to host everything on this machine. I can make files accessible in another way. And this is a very, very simple site. And I do love Obsidian, so it just makes it easy to host and modify those files. Go ahead and close that. And then I believe I also have guides as well. So set up a password manager the right way. And these are simple things. It doesn't have to do a lot of web scraping. The model already has this information, so I can just make it create these type of articles. So very easy to utilize. And so that's a full article. So this is just a little site that's called Tech Tips that I have created. So, and again, all this is hosted locally, except for Deepfeed AI that is externally accessible. And then here is Trident. Trident, I'm trying to understand how to create an automated AI trading bot. This is my, big AI project that I'm working on. This and Deepfeed AI, this goes beyond a simple site. This is really, and this probably might be where orchestration would make more sense. And this is all like paper money, but I do have it connected to Alpaca and I think Financial Management Pro, I forget whatever that's called. But that way it's able to grab market data. I can create watch lists. I can come down here and you can see the current price, the bid and the ask, the volume. I have these separated out to separate pages. I have a screener as well. So this will go through, connect to those APIs appropriately, then provide you a screener. And then you can add that item to a watch list as well. And I'm working on back testing. Right now, I'm able to do it from the command line. And I guess it's wiped out the last back testing. But this is where you want to try to have a strategy, right? And see, does the strategy work over time? And the best way to do that is with historical data. So I'm trying to understand the back testing more, and I'm not sure what happened here. But this is my big AI project of, can I create something that can automatically, give me a little bit of money. But no, but yeah, because this takes a lot more effort, a lot more strategic prompting, and this might be where orchestration might make more sense. But yeah, I've been trying to work with this one, add a couple of different themes as well. So this is my big boy project right here that I'm playing around with. And then of course we go to the actual official Deepfeed AI website here. This is the one that is live currently. What I've done is I've implemented a briefing section. So it will be based off of different drop points throughout the day. So we have morning, afternoon, and evening if articles get dropped. And then we do have the actual, because this site has AI writers, I do really say, okay, this site has AI writers. So what it'll do is it'll rotate the writers based off who these stories overall align with, even if that writer didn't write it. So this makes the morning story a little bit more interesting because you get different voices, and it uses 11 labs for the voice that it generates. I need to go to my settings and update my audio to capture. Actually, you know what? I think I can just do my Chrome capture audio right here.
As OpenAI gears up for a potential $1 trillion initial public offering, a contentious trial is exposing a...
So what happened is, this is a summary of articles that were published in a specific time block for this morning. And it sends that summary to 11 labs and then generates the voice. Every writer does have a voice ID. If I go to full briefing over here, you can see the transcript that you get. If I had a video to accompany this, because I've been working with Opus Clips, I would then paste that video and you would see that there. And the way that I do that with Opus Clips is I really just grab the transcripts. Let's go to Opus. Give me a second while I go and log in. So I got to pull that tab away, and then we can pull that tab back. And then, yeah, so in Opus Clips, what I do is script to video. And I say a technical news briefing. Do not show or animate a narrator. The style, and it looks like they've added some additional styles. but I like the Vox style for right now. That's more like news centric. So I'll do the Vox style. And then what I do need to do is come over and I will download the briefing. And I think I have to do that on the back end. Hold on one second. Yeah, I have to do it on the back end. So give me a second. I need to grab another browser portal. And I need to log in on my back end. Because that way it can have the voice actually embedded in the video. I just need to go find my briefing today for my run sheets. And yep, we're gonna go ahead and download. Okay, perfect. And then I come back to Opus Clips and I add the audio. And then I just go ahead and hit enter. So that one's pretty easy for the most part. It has the scripts that it has. And then it's gonna tell me how many credits this is gonna cost. Then I do click confirm. And then it ends up doing all this information. At the end of it, it generates a video that, if I like, I would download. And then on the back end, I have a way to uplink that video. And then you would see that in the news briefing for the day. So that's a feature that I've been working on that I really do. That's been fun. But then everything else, we have the articles. All the images are AI generated. You can tell the AI writer, the category that it's in. You're gonna have a briefing, so a summary at the top, then an analysis. You'll have a pull quote here, the sources that were provided in the actual article, overall thought, final thought by the AI writer, and then we have some follow-up potential questions that the user might ask or be interested in, and then you click that, and then it's going to output or write out the text of that, deeper thinking, essentially. Then you can also see on the right-hand side when is going to be the next drop of articles. There are 2 articles that are queued. And then you can see some writer activity. The idea is what's happening back here. You have some writers that have been working on some things. Just gives you an idea or a view into the newsroom is the idea that I kind of worked on. Something going on with the article link. And then you can have some topics here, overall topics that might be gaining traction. If we go to the stories, these are the stories that are gaining traction, actually right here. AI investment surge divides market, the rise of autonomous AI agents, OpenAI aggressive agent and hardware expansion. If you click on any of those stories, you're going to get somewhat of a timeline of events. I need to tighten this up a little bit, but you can also follow stories as well. So if a new article drops, then you're going to get a notification. So you can follow articles, you can follow writers as well. So this is also my big boy application. Yeah. And then I do have different themes as well for this Odyssey UI. So I had it develop these as well. So I thought it'd be, really very interesting. Just try to give it some type of, nice little flavor or look to it. So I do enjoy coming in here and playing around with this and taking a look at it. So yeah. So that is going to be it for today's session. I'm going to try to do some more actual deeper dives into the command line, and maybe we'll also create some applications together and get your feedback. But I've been enjoying using these AI tools, and I think it's just very important if you are a developer and if you're scared on what's coming down the pipeline. This is your time to get your hands on these tools. This is your time to maybe even create something that you've been thinking about. And it's okay to say, okay, I'm not a developer, or, I'm an architecture, right? That's what I think of. I'm no longer a day-to-day developer. I haven't been for years, but now I'm architecting out this solution and I'm talking to these AI tools. They're being assistants. And then again, you can have it, like I said, I really love, you can have it message you on Telegram when it's done, or a channel. So you can still get time back in your day, right? If you really take the time, what do they say? Plan twice, cut once. That's really what these AI tools are allowing you to do. Plan more, think more, be more strategic. Let the tool do what it needs to do, and then be about your life or your day. And then, tell it to give you notifications, and still go back and check and verify. Make sure you're doing proper security checks. That's going to be right now because they're creating 0 days, these AI tools. So still being a developer is important, but it is shifting. And you have to shift with the times, like anything, right? You do have to shift with the times. And it is scary, of course. And you're not going to know every single tool. And don't think that you have to, right? Broad strokes, find a tool that works for you and try to create an application. If you still want to have be a developer in any sense of the word, learn how to use these tools to augment your development. Think about it as being an assistant, and you'll be going down the right path, and you'll have success in the future. Because again, as an industry, we're still trying to learn how to accurately use these AI toolings. Right now, the genie's out of the bottle, and it's just moving so fast without regulation. So you still have time to catch up. You don't have to use Claude Code. Just try to find some type of AI tool. I work better on the fly. I don't really work great with a script or a structure. Maybe it'll get better as I do these more. But thanks for joining. Thanks for writing in those ones that did. I do appreciate that. I'm going to try to get on a regular cadence. I can't commit yet, but just be on the lookout. Click that notification bell and you'll know when I do go live. But until I see you next time, keep being techie, keep being nerdy, learn these AI tools, and you're going to be all right.